I don't know. I think that with no shame, then you think that you are just perfect, and no one's perfect. And I think it gets a little ridiculous after a minute.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's like we're seeing this at my work with, all the people that we're hiring. A lot of them is, they're the younger kids right now that are like early to mid 20s right now. And the sense of entitlement with all of them.
Because they never heard no.
Everybody has noticed that. And I'll tell you what, the most satisfying thing that could have happened, I made happen, because I'm the one who like negotiates with them on their pay. And so, at my work, we have a union and we have established salary steps. We're not private, we're a public entity. So we have clear salary ranges.
Yeah.
You can't get anywhere outside of that. That's just not possible.
Yeah. It's like in blocks.
Yeah. So you have somebody that's coming who tried to come on board with us. First time having a big girl job, after graduating college.
Yeah.
Not having any real world experience in this job that they had applied for and were getting offered.
They think they're...
So we have 6 salary steps. We typically, if somebody has a great deal of experience, then we can look at bringing them on at step 3, step 4, a little bit higher. We never do higher than that because we want people to have room for growth. So we offered step 1 because no experience.
Yeah.
Just the education. So there's going to be lots of training.
Exactly.
This
You're
person
gonna have to put work into
said
getting
no
in there.
and countered with step 6.
6?
6.
Not even like 2 or 3.
And I said, right off the bat, I said, that's absolutely not doable. You have 0 experience. And a person that had more experience or actually has experience, I wouldn't even bring him on at that step. And they're like, well, but I have a degree. And I said, so do the other candidates that are behind you.
Yeah. Like, hold on, wait. Is there a fuck around here?
Yeah. So I said, and she said, well, I have all this other, intern experience. And I said, yes, but again, you have no directly related experience. I understand this is a entry level position that you've applied for. We understand there's going to be training involved.
Yep.
But because it is entry level and you have 0 experience, we're bringing you on at the entry level position or entry level step.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I just can't do that. I said, okay, well, unfortunately, then we're no longer going to offer you the position. And I took it back from her.
Yep.
And then she came to me the next day and said, I will accept it at step 1.
Well,
and in my head, I was all, yes, you will.
Well, I mean, you gotta look at it from a different standpoint too. I mean, from her standpoint, she's negotiating. She's trying to think what she is. So she's trying to know her worth and like whatever. So she's trying to come at it from, this is what I think I should be. But that, that also could be because she's been fed and, just patted on the butt her whole life. So she doesn't really think about what is in reality. And so she thinks, oh, this is what I'm worth. But then no one has told her.
Well, then I kind of found out a little bit more about her when we were going through her benefit orientation. And she had told me that she needed to check with her parents because she was still on their medical insurance. Because you can be on
25, I think.
Up to age 26.
Oh,
so through the end of the month that you turn 26, you can be on your parents' insurance. So I'm like, okay, fine, yeah. So if you opt out of our insurance here, then you can get $350 cash each month. In lieu of. And so she was talking to her father. Do you mind if I call him right now just to make sure it's okay that I remain on their insurance? Make sure, go ahead. You probably should, just in case they're like, nope, she has a job now, so she's off her insurance. So she was checking, and then as she's checking with her dad on the phone, the dad was like, she was saying it in a joking manner, but she's like, oh, my dad was asking if instead of $350, I could get $500 a month. I'm like, That's non-negotiable. That's literally in the union contract. That is what everyone is offered. That is not something that's negotiable.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, so that's where it's from. It's from her dad or from her parents saying, push more, push more. And then I found out more about her. She lives in a very small house in not a great area, and she has 9 brothers and sisters, and they all live together. So I was like, okay, now I understand a little bit more. So you may not necessarily be, the millennial to a T. You're more so the eldest of your family.
So
your parents are trying to push you to better yourself as quickly as possible.
Either that or bring the money home.
Yeah. So with her, I understood that. But so once I, found out more, then I'm like, okay, now I'm understanding where she's coming from. But still, it wouldn't.
But she
shouldn't have gotten any more than that.
Well, yeah, to me, my thing would be like, hey, I would rather, instead of come off as this entitled millennial where I'm asking for all this and stuff, and be like, hey, look, I live in a single family home. I have 9 brothers and sisters. I'm trying to bring home as much as I can, with my experience that I have or with my credentials. What can I get out of this? Because I'm trying to help pay for my family. Not only it might not change the level that she comes in at or anything like that, but at least you as someone hiring them will at least see okay, they're not asking for this because they think they're entitled, which will change your opinion of them in the future. But it will be like, hey, they're trying to work their ass off because, obviously our generation and generations before, there's obviously freeloaders and fucking pieces of shit that, amongst there, but the ratio from people that work their ass off to little entitled pieces of shit is smaller. But then now in this new generation, it's entitled pieces of shit, people that work their ass off. You know what I mean? It seems like it's switched because they've been fed all this shit their whole life. Yeah,
and it's just tough because I understanding her story a little bit more, but then there's comparing others to her. There's other people that have come on board that I literally roll my eyes at, and I'm like, oh, either I know right away this isn't going to last, or we kind of find out through the initial hiring process, when I do reference checks and I kind of hear more from the references, and then just my gut feeling with people, and then I'm just like, nope, not feeling it. Yeah. You seem like a pompous jackass and I don't want you part of our team. Yeah. So, and that's, luckily I have backing. So I have people that are like, hey, we're looking for you to give an honest opinion. How do you feel like that person would be on our team? And I said, I feel like they're kind of a conceited little spoiled brat, and I don't see that working out on our team.
But isn't it weird that because you've put the work in and you've busted your ass to earn that respect and that position that you have, now your bosses trust you they trust your opinion, they trust your judgment because of what you've done towards that. Yeah. Not just because, oh, this is what I walk in, fucking, And
it kind of felt good because I have a pretty good gut instinct on people. And it was the very first time I spoke to one of our candidates, and I immediately disliked them from the get-go. I was just like, oh God, this person's going to be like, I'm the best. Me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I told supervisor, I'm not feeling good on this. And then
if you slip up and say anything, I can bleep it out. Just, okay.
So they proceeded to kind of do, because it was for a kind of an upper level position. So, kind of supervisor kind of stepped in to be able to kind of put their feelers out with their other colleagues to see what they hear. And they were kind of thinking oh, this person has great experience, which they do. Amazing experience, very knowledgeable, very good at what they do. But I just didn't like the personality that came along with it. And I didn't feel like we needed to settle for that. And so it was a month-long process. And finally it came all the way back to the very beginning where they're like, yeah, we're not going to hire them. After going through that process and talking to other people and talking with that person, you're right. I totally see what you mean, because I'm getting that pompous attitude from them now. And I'm like, that. But that's what I told you in the beginning when I did my interview with them.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't hide that. Because
on paper, things can look great.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the difference between street smarts and book smarts. You know what I mean? Like someone can be smart technically, and with going to school and doing all this stuff, but they'll walk into a fucking shitty area of town and then fucking get robbed. You know what I mean? Because they don't understand how shit works.
But it's just now that I've been in this game for over 10 years, I'm I've been there, 15 years, but I would say really been like 10 years there, do focus on me doing the recruiting. And it's just crazy, like how people do approach it. Cause it is more of an employee environment right now because there's so many jobs available. So people really do have, a little more leeway in negotiating salary. Yeah. Again, us being a public entity and unionized, we have very, strict guidelines on pay where public or private can really negotiate whatever they want to negotiate. We don't, which is kind of nice for us because it's like, it's plus and minus because I can literally say, well, this is literally the range. This is the established salary range that I would offer anybody because this is the union salary. Or if it's a non-union position, be like, I still have a structured salary range, you know? So that's a positive. At the same time, it can hurt us because we're limited on what we can offer people. Yeah. People are looking for more right now.
It's like fair and unfair. Like it's fair because everyone gets offered the same thing, but sometimes it could not be fair because of experience.
Yeah. And that is what's great too, because of the whole thing about, unfair hiring when they're saying like, females getting paid less than men and age and gender, race, all that stuff.
Do women get paid less?
Everyone gets offered the same at my job. So it's not like we don't see that because that's really not in our realm. I'm guessing more in the private industries where you're going to start to see those discrepancies. And I think the reason why though is my take on it is two reasons. Women may not be as pushy as, say, a male counterpart.
Ambitious to go on.
Not ambitious, but just not pushy enough to demand more. Yeah. That could be. There's, some women out there are like,
buster.
I'm not messing with my boss. Lynette on Desperate Housewives. So
I'll bleep that.
So it's not going to be everybody, but I mean, it could be that. It could be because women haven't been given the opportunities that men have. Yeah. They're not at that level. So if you look at their resume, they don't have that experience level that a male counterpart might. And so therefore, based on experience only, they're offered less money than their male counterpart based on experience.
On paper.
So it's kind of like this ongoing vicious circle because if they're not given the opportunity. But at the same time, I feel like we're kind of fading away from that because the old school white males that are in power are really retiring. So it's like you have a new batch of younger individuals that are coming in. Like, for instance, the two supervisors over me, I'm going to say their ages, which I should know. I can just look on their profiles. I think they are
40s, 50s. We'll just say that
50.
Okay, cool.
I think they're 50. So they're young. Just to be safe. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have this group coming in.
Yeah.
And they have different thoughts and opinions with everything.
And I can agree with you on that. I think it is. But I think a big part of it too is obviously the fact that women go through childbirth and they go through having a family and all that. So, there's probably that, that thought in their head, like that I'm not going to try and go after this, bigger job because I might get pregnant. You know what I mean? Like I'm just personally, my whole thought on maybe why that is. So they don't push to get that. And I do agree on the assertiveness, I guess, with trying to, get paid more and all that. And I would say that even if there is an assertiveness, it's a different type of assertiveness. It's more based on feelings and emotions. So like obviously a dude, like, no, just give me this job. This is what, I guess is what I do. But instead of, if they get no, I would feel that, and maybe not this generation's, dudes now because, it's a bunch of soy.
It's a flip-flop.
Yeah, but it seems like a dude would be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna put my nose to the grindstone and I'm gonna get better and I'm gonna put the work in. And it seems like a female would more take it personally and be a little more emotional about it. And then instead of just saying, okay, this is what I need to do and work on it, it would be that period of, well, fuck that guy. He's the fucking, you know what I mean? Like, and so it would be, there would have to be getting past that emotion or that feeling, the feelings, and then work towards it. Not saying that they would or wouldn't, but, you know, I think it's, because, you know, there's a difference between men and women. And it's not a bad
because women
thing.
are always looking at things from an emotional standpoint. I mean, like, I know I do, and that's one of the things that we always joke about my boss being no emotions, because that's where she is, because she's very like,
she's a dude.
This is how it is.
Yeah.
And this is how it is, and she's able to like block out that stuff and then get right to the point, which props to her, because that's hard to do, like when you have stuff going on, and it goes against, and I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing, like there are things that women are great at that men aren't, and there are things that men are great at that women aren't. That's why we balance each other out. It's not a good or a bad thing. It's kind of both, you know, but when saying that we're all equal, which as humans, yes, we're all equal. Like, I completely agree with that. There's that we shouldn't be put down for certain things, but we should be treated equally. Like there's things that men do that women can't do. There's things that women do that men can't do. Like, we should be treated that way. We're not equal with everything. There are differences in us, and those differences should be celebrated and not fucking chastised. Yeah. I think, personally. Yeah.
Hey guys, if you like this video, please subscribe and please watch the video. It helps us out a lot, because we offended all of our neighbors around our house and they hate us and they are now kicking us out. We are being evicted because we say bad things. Respect, freedom of speech.